Hi 2G. We are looking at week 7, lesson 1, expected worksheet pages. We are continuing with multiplication and using word problems and figuring out those word problems and how they want us to multiply. A strategy you can use to do that is bar models. I already know you're all like, ugh, not bar models. They are not our favorite, but if you want to use them as a strategy, you can. If they are just not working for you, then don't use them. It is just a picture to look at and to think about the multiplication to help. So if we look at this example in the Learn, it says you can use bar models to solve multiplication word problems. 5 crackers are in each bag. There are 4 bags. How many crackers are there in all? So if we look at the bar model that they did for us, we see that there's 4 sections in our model, and each section has 5 in it. So we know if I have 4 groups of 5 in each group, I'm doing some multiplication, right? I'm doing 4 times 5. Or if we look over here, we can think of it as 4 groups of 5 crackers, and that's the same thing as saying 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, or 4 times 5. So we can multiply to find the answer. You could also skip count on your fingers, whatever skill you want to use. But we know if we do 4 5 times, we're going to get 20. So there are 20 crackers in all. Here we're looking at the guided learning. It says solve. Use bar models to help you. There are 3 nests in a tree. 5 birds are in each nest. How many birds are there in all? Well, looking at my picture, I know there's 3 nests, so our friend over here is reminding us that 3 nests is 3 groups. And they told us there are 5 birds in each nest. So if I have 3 sections on my bar model, that must mean I have 5 in each section, just how they showed us. They labeled it with a 5. So I know that I'm doing 3 groups of 5. So I know that's the same thing as saying 3 times 5 equals blank. Or if you're thinking about the repeated addition, it could be 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, or 5 plus 5 plus 5. And I know 3 times 5 or 5 times 3 or doing the addition version are all going to get me 15. So there are 15 birds in all. All right, let's take a look at this expected work. It says solve. Use bar models to help you. Here's an example. 3 squares are in each bag. There are 3 bags. How many squares are there in all? Well, this one, they drew out the whole picture, right? They drew out 3 squares, and then they used the brackets to make each bag, because we have 3 brackets. So we have 3 squares in each bag. So we know one bag holds 3, so we know we're doing 3 times 3, because 3 groups of 3 squares. So we can either do 3 plus 3 plus 3, or 3 times 3. And those are both going to get us to the number 9. So there are 9 squares in all. Let's look at number 2. It says there are 6 dog biscuits in each bag. There are 2 bags in all. How many dog biscuits are there in all? He said, use squares to show the number of dog biscuits. So they did all of the dog biscuits over here, right? If I counted all of these little squares up, I would get my answer. Because I know there are 6 dog biscuits in each bag, and they used the bracket to make one bag. They condensed it down here by using one bigger bar to show 6 bags, and they labeled it with a 6. So we know there's 2 bags with 6 in each bag. So I can skip count by 2s to 6, or I can think 6 plus 6, and I know that. That's a double spec. That is 12. So there are 12 dog biscuits in all. Lastly, let's take a look at number 3. It says Teresa makes 4 bracelets. Each bracelet has 4 beads. How many beads does Teresa use in all? So I know she's making 4 bracelets, and each bracelet is going to have 4 beads on it. So I see on my bar model I have my 4 squares. They divided my bar into 4 squares, and those all contain 4 beads in each of them. So I have 4 groups with 4 in each group. So 4 times 4. I'm going to skip count by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16. So I know Teresa is going to use 16 beads in all. And that wraps up our expected workbook pages for lesson 1 of week 7. You guys have got this. Don't let the bar models get you down. Use them as an aid or a help. If you don't need them, don't use them.